What if the mighty Brazil isn't as invincible as it once was? Yes, Brazil, the five-time world champions, are now facing some of the toughest challenges in their recent footballing history. With inconsistent performances in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, internal imbalance in the squad, and a leadership void, fans are left asking, what's really going wrong with the Seleção? But into this storm has stepped a legend, Carlo Ancelotti, the calm, strategic mastermind of European football. With over 2 decades of coaching experience and a trophy cabinet that includes league titles and Champions League triumphs across Europe, Ancelotti now finds himself with a new mission: to reshape and revive the soul of Brazilian football. This video takes a deep dive into Ancelotti's strategy for the upcoming qualifiers against Chile and Bolivia, 2 very different challenges. We'll explore which young stars might earn a spot based on Club World Cup performances, how Ancelotti plans to blend experience with youth, and whether his tactical vision can truly rebuild Brazil into a world-beating force. Chile, a fading giant, still dangerous. Let's start with Chile. While their golden generation is now a memory, the Chilean team remains no pushover. Their recent performances have shown fight, structure, and tactical discipline. Their midfield, anchored by veterans, is physically dominant. They press hard, battle for possession, and are especially dangerous on home turf, where the crowd adds fire to their play. Ancelotti knows this. He's expected to approach this match with an attacking 4-3-3 formation, allowing Brazil's forwards to exploit Chile's aging defense while maintaining midfield control. Bolivia, a different kind of war. Then comes Bolivia. The twist? The match is set to be played in La Paz, a city over 3,700 meters, 12,000 feet, above sea level. Playing here is not just a football match, it's a war of endurance. The thin air tests not just the players' lungs, but also their mental toughness. For this game, Ancelotti might switch gears and deploy a possession-based 4-2-3-1 setup to slow the tempo, control the ball, and avoid fatigue-inducing end-to-end sprints. Formation flexibility, Ancelotti's edge. While Brazil has traditionally favored flair and counter-attacking football, Ancelotti brings with him the subtlety of positional play. He is not afraid to adapt formations mid-match, shifting from a wide 4-3-3 to a more controlled 4-2-3-1, depending on the opponent. This flexibility will be crucial not only to win these games, but to define the shape of Brazil's squad for the 2026 World Cup. Goalkeeping time for a new era? Traditionally, Brazil has relied on Alisson Becker and Ederson Moraes as their first-choice goalkeepers. But now, both find themselves in a slump, with neither delivering consistent club performances. This opens the door for younger names like Hugo Souza and Bento, 2 keepers who have impressed recently. Ancelotti may be tempted to give one of them a start, perhaps not just for experimentation, but as a long-term investment. Defense solid, yet shifting. At center back, the tried and tested pair of Marquinhos and Eder Militao brings a wealth of European experience. Marquinhos is calm and elegant on the ball, while Militao, recently recovered from injury, offers physicality and aerial strength. But there's a rising star, Lucas Beraldo, who shined for PSG in the Club World Cup. Ancelotti sees promise in this youngster and may pair him with Marquinhos, giving Brazil a fresh, yet solid core. On the flanks, full-back positions are more uncertain. Danilo or Wesley could take the right-back spot, while Alexandro remains a safe, if aging, choice at left-back. The full-back roles are vital, especially in wide formations, and Ancelotti may experiment here based on the opponent's threat. Midfield balance is everything. Here lies the heart of Brazil's game and its biggest question mark. Casemiro, once the undisputed anchor of Brazil's midfield, now faces criticism for his declining pace. Still, his experience and defensive instincts are invaluable, especially against a physical side like Chile. He could be paired with Bruno Guimarães, who brings composure and progressive passing. Another option is André Santos, a rising talent who might just be the spark Brazil's midfield needs. Meanwhile, Neymar could be deployed as a central attacking midfielder. While not a traditional playmaker, Neymar's creativity and close control in tight spaces make him lethal when given freedom in the final third. And let's not forget the youth revolution. Several players from Palmeiras, fresh off their Club World Cup heroics, have impressed enough to be considered. Ancelotti may hand one or two of them a golden opportunity. Attack the new golden trio? Now to the front line, where Brazil truly shines. Vinícius Júnior has evolved into one of the best wingers in the world. His pace, flair, and confidence on the ball make him an unstoppable force. Alongside him, Rodrigo Goes, his Real Madrid teammate, brings versatility and a nose for goal. Then, of course, there's Neymar, the leader, the icon, the wild card. If fit, he remains central to Ancelotti's plan, both as a playmaker and a source of inspiration. But Ancelotti has more options than ever. Joao Pedro, who lit up the Club World Cup for Chelsea, offers finishing quality and attacking intelligence. He scored even in the final, proving he can deliver under pressure. There's also Marcos Leonardo from Al Hilal, a classic number 9 with instinctive finishing. Ancelotti could opt to use him in matches requiring a strong penalty box presence. On the right wing, Raphinha and Gabriel Martinelli both provide pace and width, along with defensive work rate. Whether starting or coming off the bench, their contribution is vital. And as backup options, Brazil has rising stars like Endrick, Matheus Cunha, and Joelinton, ready to bring energy and unpredictability. Brazil has always been synonymous with Joga Bonito, he beautiful game. But times are changing. Ancelotti, a master of structured football, wants to keep the Brazilian identity alive while adding a layer of European discipline. His approach doesn't rely solely on raw speed or flashy dribbling. Instead, he emphasizes positional intelligence, composure under pressure, and tactical adaptability. That's a significant shift from the traditionally flamboyant, but often unstructured Brazilian style. The days of constant counterattacks may be numbered. Instead, we are beginning to see a Brazil that values possession, patiently builds attacks, and waits for the right moment to strike all hallmarks of Ancelotti's football philosophy. The Club World Cup effect, young talent rising. One of the most exciting aspects of this Brazilian rebuild is the emergence of young players, especially after the recent Club World Cup. Ancelotti has been closely monitoring standout performers like Joao Pedro, Beraldo, Andre, and Marcos Leonardo. These players not only bring raw talent, but also a fearless attitude, the kind Brazil needs to rise again. The idea is clear. Mix youthful hunger with veteran wisdom and create a balanced squad that can perform under pressure. And for young players, these qualifiers are more than just international experience, they are auditions for the World Cup stage. 2 matches, 1 larger goal. Make no mistake, the matches against Chile and Bolivia aren't just about collecting points. They're a litmus test for Brazil's new direction. A chance to experiment, to build chemistry, to test formations and mentality. These aren't just qualifiers. They are foundations for something much bigger, a squad that will compete to reclaim the World Cup in 2026. Ancelotti knows that fans won't settle for almost good enough. Brazil is expected to dominate, to inspire, and to win. That pressure is enormous, but that's exactly the kind of fire that shapes champions. A test of trust, youth versus experience. What makes this phase of Brazilian football so fascinating is the balancing act. On one hand, you have legends Neymar, Casemiro, Marquinhos, players who have carried the team for years. On the other hand, you have hungry young lions ready to prove themselves. Ancelotti doesn't want to discard experience, but he also isn't afraid to trust youth. His decisions in the coming matches will reveal just how much risk he's willing to take and how bold his new Brazil might be. It's not about replacing the past, it's about evolving it. The road to redemption. Let's face it, Brazil hasn't won the World Cup in over 2 decades. For a country that breathes football, that's a drought. The fans demand glory, not excuses. Ancelotti's Brazil isn't perfect, not yet. But for the first time in years, there's a sense of direction, planning, and leadership. With the right blend of tactical discipline, rising talent, and rekindled passion, this squad could very well bring Brazil back to the top. Final thought, can Brazil rise again? The question now is not just can Brazil win again? The real question is, Can Ancelotti lead a revolution? His task is monumental, but if anyone can handle pressure, it's the man who's won everything there is to win in club football. Now, his eyes are on international glory. These matches against Chile and Bolivia aren't just battles, they're chapters in a much larger story. So football fans, what do you think? Will Brazil finally find the right formula under Ancelotti? Which young players deserve a permanent spot in the squad? Can the Seleção reclaim its throne in 2026? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the future of Brazilian football.